Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Coins Alert channel. As with you always, I am doing another movie today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. First, I have to say that this has not been confirmed yet. Is it true that Breaking ProShares has officially registered SOL and XRP ETFs on DTCC? The XRP ETF hype is going crazy. Is this the time we've all been waiting for? But this hasn't been proven yet. It seems like there are a lot of stories going around in the XRP community right now because everyone is so excited. They need to see XRP breakout already, but we'll talk more about this in a later movie once we know for sure. Bo Hine, Trump's executive director, says that the crypto industry will likely reach $15 to $20 trillion in value once safe coin laws are put into place. Listen to this. It's really important. In the first place, I don't think anyone should miss it. Two-party bills haven't made it out of the Senate Banking Committee and into law since 2018. It's clear to me that our Democratic friends know the United States needs to take the lead in updating our financial systems. As I've said many times during this meeting, everything else has changed, right? The technology we use, the ways we talk to each other, and the ways we move money never really changed. I believe that many people are shocked by that. But what Genius does is allow for instant settlement times, fees that are cheaper, and more openness. It makes sure that the US dollar will be the most important currency in the world for many years to come. And this bill should be the least political one that ever makes it through Congress. We're very hopeful about how things are going. I believe we gained 15 Democrats during the cloture vote. We should be able to get this passed next week. It will be sent to the House and signed by the president. Because of stables, a huge amount of money is put into the digital assets market. I believe this will lead to a business worth $15 to $20 trillion because of what it does. As soon as this bill is signed into law, I expect a lot of money to pour into this business. A lot of these stable coins, though, rest on the network they're on and how they're backed. That is, I believe they will gain the most support if they are fully backed, follow the rules, and everything is legal. I still believe that RLUSD will become the US digital currency. Now, things are very different abroad. The biggest bank in the world just said that stablecoins are not real money. This comes from a Blue Hawk story. That's right. This comes from the best central bank ever. It's known as the fake money problem. The top economist for the business compared stablecoins to the wild days of private banking in the United States in the 1800s, when different banks printed their own money and sold it at different discounts. He says that stablecoins don't have what he calls singleness, like real central bank money does. The belief that a dollar bill is worth exactly $1 bill everywhere and at all times. When a stablecoin is backed by $1 US, I don't see how it can be fake money. The Tether black hole of transparency. Concerns about Tether's disclosure were brought up in the study. Tether controls more than half of the stablecoin market, but has been asked over and over again if it really does have the assets it says it does. Is the cash really there? Where is it? I agree with that because Tether would fail an audit. Also, I believe Tether is a big issue that needs to be fixed before safe coins can move forward. Now you know how Mika got Tether out of the EU. It's possible that the US will also kick Tether out of the country. Then there was Terra USD and Luna, which lost $60 billion in just a few days. I think the same thing will happen with Tether. In the crypto space, people don't want to believe it, but you know what? They also didn't want to believe that Terra could be affected. Still, it did. Wait until Tether is finished in the US, then Japan, and finally another country. Eventually, it will lose its peg and come crashing down. Bank of England Governor Warren's stablecoin boom could undermine monetary trust. Central banks on alert. The reason that a lot of these central banks, they don't like stablecoins is because it takes power away from the central bank. They're all about central bank digital currency, because it's programmable money. It would expire over a period of time. Plus, they could shut your money off. That's why they don't like stablecoins. I think they're 100% right about Tether, but I think they're also 100% wrong about fully compliant stablecoins. And this keeps popping back up. And I want to share this with you. So you remember when Watcher Guru posted Justin Swift nearing agreement with Ripple, the use XRP for cross-border payments with billions of XRP secured in escrow as liquidity reserves. And that dropped, and then all of a sudden they claimed that they were hacked. But was that dropped on purpose to give us a warning of what's to come? Because remember, Brad Garlinghouse said this about Swift at 3 different time frames. Listen to this. I think what we're doing and executing a day-by-day basis is in fact taking over Swift in that we've now signed up well over 100 banks. Some of the largest Swift-enabled banks in the world are now using Ripple's technology. I mean, just last week we saw a remittance company who's using Ripple's technology. They reduced the price per transaction to their consumers from $20 per transaction to $20 per transaction, and they saw an 800% increase in usage overnight. That's the type of dynamic that Swift isn't able to support that we're able to address right now. One of the former board members of Swift, a gentleman Marcus Treacher, joined our team to run all of customer success. This was a former board member from Swift coming over and saying, hey, we don't think Swift's going to be necessarily a solution to really unlocking this internet of value. These are marks along the journey. You're actually sending bank messages to banks that have liquidity. To some degree, Citibank and HSBC, really the top two, JPM, those are the top three liquidity banks. And when you're sending Swift messages, you're sending messages to banks to release liquidity and making sure that debits and credits match. So to some degree, really boil it down, Ripple's competing with the liquidity of Citi and the messaging of Swift, but in one, because we're both messaging and liquidity. And at the end of the day, no, again, as I described, no, Swift was developed 50 plus years ago. It architecturally hasn't really changed. It does remain slow. It remains, days. It does remain, relatively speaking, expensive. And actually interesting is, and that is why Ripple will eventually replace Swift. But one thing Brad said there is that they're messaging and liquidity, but he left out settlement. They're also settlement as well. That's a game changer for Ripple. But this is why this is going to happen. Swift is over 50 years old. It's slow. It's expensive. And take notice, he said 800% adoption rate overnight. So when you see an adoption rate like that, you already know what's going to happen as customer after customer leaves Swift for the alternative, which is Ripple. We were only looking to capture maybe 10% of Swift's business, and that would push XRP above 3 digits. Most likely, we're going to end up capturing early on 25% of Swift's business. Most likely over the next year after that happens, we'll capture another 20%. I'm expecting Ripple to replace Swift sooner than later. Marco Santori, ex-legal chief at Kraken, says DeFi, not CeFi, is the future. Let's burn it all down. Right now, it's all about bridging DeFi to the traditional financial system. But a lot of the people that are in this space would like to just see the end of the traditional system. I think that is coming as well as we make the digital shift. I think what we're going to see is the current financial system. It's going to be a transition into the digital system. Or it's just going to be a crash of the current system and a replacement with the digital system. But the traditional financial system is not getting any better. The banks right now are the most worried because they're losing customer after customer, and they're not gaining new customers either. Because the younger generation, they're not even going into the bank branch. They're already going with what their friends are using. They're already going with what their phone tells them to be using as their bank. So the banks need to come up with a way to track the younger generation. I think it's going to happen through crypto, through digital assets. Because what else do they have? They don't have anything new, and nothing new is being developed at the banks either. It's a broken system tied to Swift. This comes from Crypto for Life, and I thought this was a great post. They doubted us because of the price. They laughed at us when XRP was sued. They started buying secretly at 2 barley. Regret of not getting more will hit at $5. Most will FOMO in around 10. And like with those who jumped into Bitcoin early at $100, they'll call early XRP investors legends. You are all going to be legends. People always act like you need to have 100,000 XRP. You really don't. 1,000 XRP in the very near future is going to be massive, because people are not going to be able to afford to buy 1,000 XRP. Think of $100,000 to buy 1,000 XRP. Then think of $500,000 to buy 1,000 XRP. It's going to be a crazy time when it happens. But you are all going to be legends, as long as you continue to hold your XRP. This comes from the National Cryptocurrency Association. Did you know that 1 in 5 Americans already part of the crypto community? Your neighbors, friends, and local shop owners aren't just talking about crypto. They're using it to send money to families, support causes they care about, and connect with communities across the country. Meet the crypto holders next door in our new report out next week. But 1 in 5 Americans hold crypto. Wait till it becomes 2 in 5, then 3 in 5. I don't ever think we'll see 5 out of 5 holding crypto, but 5 out of 5 Americans will be using crypto no matter what. Some will be using it and not even knowing it. Others will be holding it and getting rich as it happens. Because mass adoption is absolutely coming. Wait until Ripple replaces Swift. Wait until XRP holders are buying things directly with their XRP